Coach Katie here. Welcome to your day 10 of your home workout. We've got an absolutely awesome workout for you. This workout's going to be focusing on the core and the glutes. So for this we recommend a set of mini bands. If you've got some dumbbells, which we can use the upper body as well, but also get that suitcase out of the attic because we're going to be needing that when we're working the core. We all want to congratulate you from everybody at Orangetheory Studio to say well done for those that are tagging themselves in their workout, saying I can, I will, and those that keep it moving. Diane, we've got you, we've got Monica, we've got Jess, we've got Paul that's going on your runs, we've got Shenley, we've got Sam. There are so many of you that we can't possibly name in this 1 minute video, but congratulations, keep moving and keep saying I can, I will get through this. All right, well done, and we'll speak soon.
Let's get started with a dynamic warm-up. We're going to go through 5 exercises. We'll demonstrate those for you, and then you can work through your 2 rounds. From here, we're going to start with a T-spine rotation. So keeping one hand planted firmly, core engaged just slightly, we're going to bring fingertips to the ear, and then raise your elbow towards the ceiling, rotating through that thoracic spine, and then reaching that elbow back towards the floor. Go through this motion 5 times, again, focusing on rotating just through that upper half of your torso rather than rotating all the way through those hips. 10 total, 5 on each side. Staying in that same position, we're gonna go right into what's called a cat camel. So you are mimicking what those animals, I guess, look like, right? So we'll go ahead and start by arching through that back, making that hump by tucking your chin and then tucking those hips underneath. And then let's go back the opposite direction, crown of your head and tailbone to the ceiling, really mobilizing that spine, really warming up that torso for some of the work that we're gonna be doing later. 5 total here. And then we're gonna again stay in the same position, moving right into what we call the fire hydrant. This is really to help open up those hips. So we are going to draw a circle with our knee. External rotation would be to lift the knee to the outside first and then shoot that leg out behind you, then bringing your knee back underneath your hips. 5 that direction, and then you do wanna make it an internal rotation as well, just simply moving the opposite direction. 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. Now our next one is gonna be a dynamic runner's lunge. So we are gonna add an overhead side reach. In order to help with posture, maybe grab something that you have at home. We happen to have a ginormous spoon. So we're gonna have John hold that over top of his head. That way his shoulders are gonna stay in the right position, ears stacked over that shoulder, over that hip, and then his front foot is gonna come a little bit further than that 90-degree angle that you're used to seeing. This way he'll be able to make it dynamic by shifting forward, opening up through that hip flexor while he's leaning over to the side. And again, by holding on to whatever object it is, maybe it's a towel for you, you'll be able to make sure that you stay in alignment. 5 one direction, and then 5 on the opposite side. One more exercise, we're calling this the plank to an alternating ankle reach. Get into your high plank position, again, shoulders stacked directly over wrists, feet are shoulder width apart, tuck that core or those hips under to engage that core, and then lift through your hips, reaching your opposite hand towards that opposite ankle. You're simply gonna go as far as you can for your range of motion, moving back and forth for 10 total, 5 on each side. 2 full rounds, 5 exercises. Let's get that body primed for the work that you're about to do.
In the dark, in the room, I'm waiting on my own, and the dream seems so far away. Could it be you're waiting there for me? I just need to open up. Oh, then your light shines in. I'm flying. Never saw you coming.
time to strengthen those glutes. No, they're not just for good looks. Having strong glutes really helps alleviate back pain, and it will help stabilize as you're twisting and turning through everyday movements, especially as we move side to side when we're simply not aware of how we're moving. We're gonna start by warming up your glutes with 2 exercises. If you have that mini band at home, now is the time to grab it. You ready to warm up? Yeah. All right, great. We're gonna start with an iso squat lateral walk. So Em is gonna start by sinking down into those hips or heels with hips back. Make sure that we're keeping that the anchors in alignment, so ear, shoulder, and hip in a straight line, and then baby steps to the side, keeping those toes facing forward. We're gonna take 3 steps to one side. Nice and slow and controlled, that's perfect form. And then pause, and we're gonna return back to the starting position by taking another 3 steps back. So that equals 1 total rep. That's 6 steps equal 1 total rep. We're gonna do that 4 times. And then keeping that mini band on, why don't you go ahead and come down to our nice little blanket here for that extra padding. Hands are on either side of your hips. Feet are about shoulder width apart. Make sure we're bringing those heels underneath our knees. And then from here, you're gonna raise your hips towards the ceiling, pausing for just a moment at the top, squeezing those glutes, and then controlling that body nice and slow back down to the ground. Again, if we've got that mini band on, you're gonna be stabilizing as we're moving through this movement. If you don't have it on, I know you can use your imagination to think about it being there. We're gonna work through this for 10 total reps. Remember, these 2 exercises are gonna start the block for 3 rounds. Go ahead and slide that mini band off. Now it's really time to work on that strength. You might have a chair at home, you might have a couch. Why not use a step stool? We're gonna get into a position for a single leg Bulgarian split squat. So the best way to line yourself up for this movement, we can see Em's got her heels against that step stool. So you're gonna start in standing step position with feet shoulder width apart, and then take 3 steps out. Leave 1 foot planted, and then it's like a heel toe, right? So 3 of your shoe lengths out. Pause there, and then reach 1 foot back. You're gonna find that stool, find that chair, find that couch, or simply have that toe resting on the ground. From here, you're gonna drop your knee down towards the ground, but again, keeping those anchors in alignment, so straight line from your ear down to that hip. You come down as far as your range of motion allows, driving through your front heel and squeezing those glutes at the top. We're gonna do 8 on one side and then 8 on the other. Your next exercise, we're gonna activate those glutes even more, but incorporate your upper body as well. Go ahead and grab those coffee cans. We're gonna add a little bit of challenge to this. This is our neutral full thruster. And again, if you don't have dumbbells, you're gonna grab 2 even weights, all right? Standing in that standing set position again lining up those anchors. Keep your core nice and tight, Em, as you drop down into your heels into that squat like you're sitting in a chair. Now this time, thrust those coffee cans towards the ceiling using power. So again, incorporating those glutes, stabilizing on the way, but then using them, squeeze, and shooting those up towards the ceiling. Nice job. Your option here, you can reduce your range of motion, or you can always go through this exercise without using the coffee cans. Our last exercise is going to incorporate your core while we're still working those glutes. Back to our high plank position. Make sure we're stacking our shoulders directly over our wrists. Feet are about shoulder width apart. Tuck those hips under, core is nice and tight. Now 1 leg at a time, we're gonna alternate those leg lifts. Very small range of motion because we wanna focus on activating that glute rather than that low back. That core and that low back are stabilizing while we are using those glutes. We're gonna do 10 total reps here, so 5 on each side, and you'll continue to repeat this until time is called. Let's get to work.
you ever feel alone, don't you mind? Just remember all the love you keep inside. Now flow with me.
I can't resist, I'm powerless, like a fly to light. From out the mist, I see a shine, you're the one for me. And I've been known to give in too easily before, but I know I feel something I've never felt before. Then you told me stay, don't worry, be strong, come along, be with me. It's not too late to change, don't worry, be strong, come along, be with me. I'm feeling like a flame at night, I wanna be the flame in your fire. I'm feeling like a flame at night, I wanna be the flame in your fire. Let's burn it down. Let's burn it down. Let's burn it down. Your touch and kiss, my heart's first wish is coming true. I've begun to grow, and now I know you're the one for me. And I've been known to give in too easily before, but I know I feel something I've never felt before. Then you told me stay, don't worry, be strong, come along, be with me. It's not too late to change, don't worry, be strong, come along, be with me. I'm feeling like a flame at night, I wanna be the flame in your fire. I'm feeling like a flame at night, I wanna be the flame in your fire. I'm feeling be stuck in the middle, wanna have it all. I'm not a high hope, I'm not an almost, I'm better with my weakness showing. Exposed, still growing. If I got one shot in life, keep my eyes wide, cause I'm living real fast in double time. There ain't no box that you could label with my name. Ain't no way you could fit me in a frame, cause I wanna make waves. No time to play safe, I wanna make change. No time to be comfortable, cause I wanna make waves. No time to play safe, yeah, I wanna make change. I don't wanna be comfortable. I'm never gonna be an almost, just because I'm too scared to fall. I push it back a little. When life's pinned me to the wall, don't wanna play it back in slow-mo. Oh, think about the time gone. I'm gonna climb the fence that I've been stuck waiting on. There ain't no box that you could label with my name. Ain't no way that you could fit me in a frame, cause I wanna make waves, I wanna make change. No time to play safe, don't wanna be comfortable. Make waves, I wanna make change. No time to play safe, I don't wanna be comfortable. I don't wanna be I don't wanna be.
We're gonna focus on that core. This is an endurance focus with a little bit of a higher rep count. 4 total exercises for 2 full rounds. We're gonna start seated again on a towel, carpet, something soft so that we can pat ourselves underneath as we work through these exercises. And we've got a suitcase there. Ange, why don't you go ahead and grab that to add a little bit of a challenge. Holding that suitcase right at your chest, seated on the ground, feet are shoulder width apart, plant those heels nice and firm. We're gonna roll ourselves down to the ground and then drive those heels in and sit all the way back up. So this is a full sit up with a little bit of an added challenge, having that weight glued to your chest. Doing this for 15 total reps. Of course, as an option, you're gonna come up just as high as you can, or you can always take that suitcase out of it. Our second exercise, actually, do you want to keep that challenge going? All right, let's do it. Let's keep it glued to our chest again, going right into a seated torso rotation. So leaning back just slightly, Angie's gonna keep that core nice and tight, holding onto that suitcase at her chest. Go ahead and start twisting to the side. There you go, rotating through that torso. Notice that our heels are staying nice and grounded, toes to the ceiling. Make sure we're breathing as we're going through that exercise. We've got 20 total here, 10 to each side. Again, your option, you can go ahead and set that suitcase down. We are done with those for right now. We're gonna get into our high plank position. So go ahead and get your shoulders stacked directly over top of those wrists. Feet are going to be about hip width apart. Actually, take them just a little bit wider, Ange, so we can work through stabilizing those hips as we work through our pull through. That's perfect. So using that object next to you looks like your makeup bag. You're ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and use that to pull through underneath the body. So opposite hand reaches under, pulls through, sets it down, and then we switch to the other side. Notice how stable Ange's hips are. So we're not moving at all. Anti-rotation there is what we're focused on. As an option, you can always drop down to your knees if you need to. We're gonna work through, again, 20 total here, 10 to each side. Nice job. Our last exercise, you can actually go ahead and move your makeup bag to the side. We're laying all the way down, not taking a break just yet. Fingertips at your ears, elbows are gonna be out to the side. We're working through a back extension. So feet are still hip width apart, toes are grounded, and then as you raise your back towards the ceiling, you're gonna pause and then control it on the way back down. So again, we're tightening through the whole back side of that body, really, really stabilizing at the top, and then releasing ourselves back down to the ground. Your option here, you can always reduce that range of motion. We've got 15 total. Now it's your turn for 2 rounds.
Can it be done? Hey, can it be done? I will not forget our conversation when you looked at me and I dove into your eyes, frozen with anticipation. You harnessed me and told me come in close. It's where I belong. The hole is gone. Felt as though I was far away. You got me with your voice to where I belong. The hole is gone. You're the shape I didn't know I needed in my life. You best believe I see it in your eyes. You best believe I see it in your eyes. You best believe I see it in your eyes. You best believe I see it in your eyes. See it in your arms and legs uncrossed. There's no conversation, and I'm noticing I'm staggering across to you. It's my resignation. I'm letting go and letting you go in to where you belong. The hole is gone. Felt as though I was far away. You got me with your voice to where I belong. My heart was stone. You're the shape I didn't know I needed in my life. You best believe I see it in your eyes. You best believe I see it in your eyes. You best believe I see it in your eyes. You best believe I see it in your eyes.
Morning, does it give you clarity? Warning, now when you wake up, no sleep, no time, no patience from nobody, nobody. Hey. Boarding, feeling something like a plane ride when forces try hard to take my mind, saying to me, honestly, don't try. If you fail, well, I'll be watching. What if I'm the first to disagree? Hook, jab, gonna cut my way through. Hook, jab, now it's round two, now it's round two. Empty my cup, but it's never enough. So I got my dukes, I got my hook, jab, gonna cut my way through. Hook, jab, now it's round two, now it's round two. Rolling and ducking each blow one by one. 'Cause I got my dukes, I got my dukes up. 1 week past bedtime, I'm faded, searching for daylight, still pacing back and forth, back and forth. Got no one in my corner, and I gotta work it out. Feeling forces trying to dim my light. Teeth clenched, knuckles all white, all white, all white. Life got me punch drunk on the ropes, suffering blow by blow, fight toe to toe. Placing bets, but I already know.
All
right, this is our final block. It's going to have 2 exercises, working our way back from 10 reps all the way down to 1 with a little bit of a power feel. So are you ready to earn the burn right now?
Yeah, give me a power.
All right, let's get it going then. We have, again, 2 exercises starting with our squat jack. To add just a little bit of spice, we picked up a cooler, but you can always grab a box of shoes as well. Just something that's gonna add a little bit of a challenge to the exercise. Let's get into that standing set position once again, but this time your feet are gonna be a little bit wider than hip width apart. Keeping your chest nice and proud and that smile on your face. We're gonna sink down into those heels just like you're sitting in a chair, and as you drive your body up, you're gonna jump your feet together, land softly back into that squat. Your option, you can definitely take the cooler out of it if you need to, or simply step yourself to the side and then back to the center. Again, we're starting with 10 reps here. Your second exercise also has a little bit of a flare, that power feel to it. High plank position first. We're gonna add that plank jack. Shoulder again stacked directly over that wrist. We wanna keep that back completely flat, core nice and tight, glutes nice and tight. Remember, we don't want that booty bouncing up and down as we're working this exercise. Your option here, you can step that foot to the side and then step it back in. John, you can go ahead and relax, but you guys have got to get to work. Again, work your way down from 10, 10, 9, 8, all the way down to 1. Little rest as possible between exercises. Let's do it.
Make up your mind what you're searching for. Sticky claim, is it fame? Do you see your name in lights? Make up your mind what you're searching for. Is it money? Is it something like freedom? Nothing against myself, but I can really see myself. Come around, come around, come around. Now I'm holding it down. I thought I was quiet, but then you brought that loud. It's instinct that I mentioned. Did you know that? In a minute, I felt different. No take backs, take back. Everyone's got a little bit of magic.
worked our sympathetic nervous system throughout the workout as we elevated our heart rate. Now it's time to upregulate our parasympathetic nervous system to bring our heart rate back down and to cool off our bodies. We have 4 stretches coming at you, 20 seconds on each side. Ready, Ange?
Ready.
All right, our first stretch is going to be Cobra. We're gonna lie face down on our comfy mat or towel, bringing our hands directly at the sides of our chest as we lift our chest up off the ground till our range of motion allows, really stretching out that core. 20 seconds holding here. From there, we're gonna go into child's pose, where we're gonna bring our big toes together, pull our knees out a little bit wider than hip width apart, let our torso sink between the knees as we extend our arms, relaxing our head. Holding this for 20 seconds, our third stretch is going to be an angled child's pose, where we shift our hands a little bit to the right, feeling that nice deep pull and stretch along our side, and then switching it to the other side for 20 seconds. Our fourth stretch is going to be our seated toe reach, sitting up nice and tall on our sit bones as our legs are extended, feet are flexed, and just keeping her back nice and flat as she extends her arms straight out in front of her, hinging at her hips until her range of motion allows, slowly lowering her hands down once she feels that stretch in her hamstrings and her calves. Let's start getting that body cooled down.